but you and I hate negativity. We would much rather be excited. We have been dragged to this place of negativity unwillingly, and we're sitting here because the stuff that's coming out is not up to our standards.
I don't
So
think
it's
we're
like,
negative. I think exactly as you said, it's just not up to our standards. And I think there are more people who are in love with Star Wars and what it used to be than people who are just accepting everything. Kind of like YouTube Andy here. This comment says, no, LeMayo, it's the fact that y'all think y'all are expert movie writers, creators, directors, producers. Lol. Not everybody is like that at all. You're right. Not everyone is like that at all. There's quite a few people that are just like you that will accept everything and anything, no matter how good or bad it is. And we are not like that. We're much more selective. And as I said, when you've been a fan of something for decades at a time, which was under the creator of the said franchise, you're going to have different expectations. And so when something is taken and it's being milked and the characters are changing off screen like 180 turns, you're going to be raising an eyebrow, and you're still going to be hopeful, but you can't help but feel hurt that what the hell is going on? This is, these are characters that I looked up to as a little boy. And anyone who has a problem with that, well, sorry, but you need to understand how this stuff affects a lot of people.
Plus, like, I kind of reject the whole idea of the super chat, because particularly with Star Wars.
It's not even a super chat. He didn't even send anything.
Oh, he didn't? Okay. So, like, to me, I feel like the idea of us being like, we're all, because the implication is here is like, we're these expert, we have this high taste of like, but like, dude, that ain't even it. Like, Star Wars has never been that. Star Wars is not like a Kubrick movie. You know what I mean? Like, Star Wars is pulp adventure, like mythic storytelling wrapped up in a sci-fi skin. Like, it's not that deep. It's never been that. So I don't even understand, like, what is this person trying to say? That like we have this expectation of Star Wars for it to be this thing that it's not? I don't think so at all. I just want it to be good adventure and to stay true to its own themes. I actually think it's super simple, and Star Wars is almost like I think Star Wars is a simple thing to get right. I don't think it's that complicated.
No. And again, YouTube Andy, I think you're totally missing the mark. He says, you looked up to Boba Fett, the guy who had 2 minutes of showtime in one single movie. That was the guy you left the theater thinking about. Ha 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 ha. It's like,
I mean, it's just a troll, but I'll bite.
No, dude, look, I'll bite. Yeah, for sure. So we're all about debate and talking about it. So if that's what you think, then you're really pushing and reaching for something that doesn't exist. No, there is so much lore about Boba Fett, which clearly you don't read, don't watch, don't care about, because you're only looking at things from a surface level that, oh, there's only 2 minutes of screen time. No, man, there's so much more. There's so much more. This guy had tons of comics, tons of books, and he was in a lot of games. Like,
we don't get to Mandalorians without Boba Fett. Like, Boba Fett was like, and like, I love this like argument from people, because like, dude, you're acting like it's just a few people that had this feeling about Boba Fett. Why do you think Disney made the show then? Disney made the show because they know motherfuckers love Boba Fett.
That's right.
But for 2 minutes, he was endeared to the fans. Sometimes, by the way, that's a mysterious thing. And you don't quite understand it. But if you recognize it, it's like wrestling, and you understand that this character is over, you push him. So like, what's this dude even talking about? 2 minutes versus screen time? Brother, it's obvious people love Boba. That's why they made the show. The problem is they didn't just give us what we wanted. They fucked it up.
Yeah.
YouTube Andy.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's this constant theme that people have. Like, well, if you're saying something negative about it, then you're just being negative. It's like, well, why don't you actually try to listen? Why don't you understand, like, where is this person coming from? Are they actually crazy and just complaining? Or is there merit behind it? I think that's a lot of the miscommunication starts from with a lot of these different people. It's that we both all love Star Wars, just some of us have different expectations of it. And that's really the only difference, that you don't care about it as much as I do.
Yeah, and it's and by the way, totally cool if you're like okay with mediocrity. Like, that's fine, dude. Like, I think it's absolutely cool. But I think it's whack to get mad at people that don't just accept mediocrity. And again, like, bro, you're in a relationship with this content. You're paying money every month to get this content. You don't think you're entitled to an opinion on the quality of the content that you're paying for?
Screw the money, but it's like, this is so important to so many people. It's really like remember what Star Wars was like in the early 2000s. Remember what it was like in the 90s. I can't say for the 80s or 70s because I wasn't around, but like, this shit was magical. Like, forget Harry Potter, and I was a huge Harry Potter fan, but this shit was absolutely magical. The Force, lightsabers, Jedi, Sith. What?
Why do you think Disney bought it
for $4 billion?
Dude, they knew. They were like, no, this is like the hottest shit. Like people love this shit.
It's Star Wars. Darth
Yeah.
Vader? Like what? Like come on, man. Like this is really important stuff. This is extremely important stuff. And to some people, it's a full-on religion and it saved their lives. There's so many you have no idea the amount of people. I'm not talking to you, Josh. I mean just mean chat in general, but it's like you guys have no idea in the 7 years that I've been on this channel, how many comments, private letters I've received, emails, contacts from people who have talked about their relationship with Star Wars and how it saved their life from they'd be dead if Star Wars wasn't around. And that can be said about a lot of different things and escapes in the world, but Star Wars is one of the main ones, and Star Wars is a major one for so many people out there. So this is a very serious IP, and it needs to be taken very seriously. So these sort of like weekend warrior Star Wars fans, who in my opinion are just people that don't really give a shit about Star Wars, are just kind of sticking to a clique of I'll be a new Star Wars fan, and I'm going to start a podcast.
They're tourist fans. Yeah,
you're tourists, and you're just monopolizing something that you don't really give a shit about or understand. And you're trying to point the finger at people who have been in the club for a long time, being like, "Why do you care so much about this? Who the fuck are you to tell anyone that? You just came here. Like, have some goddamn respect for your elders for once." People care about this stuff a lot, and it's very important. So they need to be respectful and understand that. And if they don't want to be respectful, then at least understand people have different opinions. That's really all it is about. That's it, man. It's that fucking simple. People have different opinions about different things.
Yep.
That's life. Get used to it. Don't try to make everyone be a clone.
Yeah, freaking YouTube Andy, goddamn troll.
Just a typical low IQ way of understanding that, hey, like you like something that I don't really give a shit about. Oh my god, like what's wrong with you? Okay, well, don't come to my clubhouse then. Like, what
I call them pee poo poo heads.
Well, no, I just think that they're people that are probably very lonely and bored, and they're sticking to a clique of something so that they can feel like they're part of a cause when they really don't give a shit about it, and then they're going to jump onto the next public agenda thing the next week. You know, they're
But if you look that up in the dictionary, it's pee poo poo head.